Okay, well, this is the Chaim, and we're in the beginning of Parak Hay. Now, Parak Hay is going to talk about the Shvira more in detail about it. We're going to, hopefully, it's going to be read by Yaakov Rimmer, who is an advanced, very good student. He's a rabbi from the Kollel here in Boca Raton, and he's been working on this. I don't know if he's going to call me today, so we're going to find out, but I'm sitting here standing by. That's right. You ready?
Ready?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So,
Okay, you're reading an Aleph in the Tiv, right?
yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm with you.
V'nachzor ato levar, Seder Yitzias, Shiva Melachim Ha'elu, Mitoich HaBina K'nizkar Le'el. We're going to now begin to explain in greater detail the Yitzia of the lights of the seven kings as they leave the Kli of Bina. Like we said, when they left the Kli of Bina, Bina didn't break. It was Nifgam, but it did not break completely. But later, after that's where the main breaking happens. The Eich Nishbaru, how did they break apart? They all left Bina and they went into the with the R of Das, and they went into the Kli of Das. So they were all included in Das. Now, I know that like previously we've talked about whether there is Das or there isn't Das. Over here, he seems to be going with the idea or with the thinking that there is a Kli of Das. We didn't mention it necessarily. Some of the, I think in the Shara of Akudim, we didn't mention the Kli of Das.
Okay, I hear you. I hear that's a good question. So what's going on? In other words, it's once again the kaleidoscope. You could look at it this way, that way, this way, that way, and it's constantly changing.
Right.
So that's what you got here. Now, what happens is with Bina is that the Acharayim of Bina falls, and the Begam has to do with Kesser. Kesser's really nothing breaks.
Right.
Yeah, okay, that was the language. I just wanted to point that out. Go ahead.
No, thank you.
Try to keep my hand in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, 100%. Birai La'el. We explained earlier in Parak Daled, She'or HaKeser HaDinakudim Yatsu Kishe'imai Klulim Kol HaTesha Spheres Shetachtav, that the Ur of Keser, when it entered into the Kli of Keser, it had with it all the 9 spheres below it. V'nichnas le'slavesh b'teich Kli of Keser, it went inside of the Kli of Keser. V'lacher mikain nishar Ur HaKeser v'Kli Shalai, the light of Keser stayed behind in its place. Yatsu Ur HaChachma mikli HaKeser v'imai Klulim Hashmana Spheres Shetachtav, and underneath it was the next day. And again, when Nislabesh b'teich Kli HaKeser went into the Kli HaKeser, it was Nislabesh. I find it interesting, by the way, that he keeps saying that it goes into the Kli HaKeser, but then it has to do another step of like his slabshos, like it has to be Nislabesh with the Kli of Keser.
Yeah, okay.
I just thought that was like, an added level.
So let me go over it with you again. V'yatza or ha'chachma b'kli ha'keser. That's not where you're at. Where are you? What are the words?
The next 4 words.
V'nislavish b'toch kli ha'chachma. Now, what is your question?
So I just find it interesting that he's saying that the Ur HaChachma leaves the Kli of Keser, and meaning the Ur of Chachma already has the Ur of Chachma. Meaning it already has, I guess, the sphere of Chachma
is inside of the Kli of Keser.
Then it goes into the Kli of Keser, and it gets like a new aspect of. It goes into the Kli of Chachma and gets like a new aspect of Chachma. Like what is the, I guess, difference between Ar of Chachma without a Kli of Chachma and Ar of Chachma with a Kli of, like in his slapshos of a Kli of Chachma?
Okay, so let me go back to this lavish betoch Kli HaChachma. So your question is, where did the Kli of Chachma come from?
No. We discussed. I think we discussed where the Kli of Chachma was coming earlier. My question really is like, it's like general. It's not specific to here. But what is Chachma without the Hislapshus of the Kli, and what is Chachma with the Hislapshus of the Kli?
Okay, well, that's an excellent question. So we're saying that the or the moach, which is represents chokhmah, exists in a higher place by itself without having anything to shine it. It's like a light bulb, and you have to have something. A light bulb is like a kli, so you have this energy comes into the kli. Without the kli, so you can't see the energy. The energy stays just in Kesser. Now, that may not be the answer to your question, so let's see if we can.
Okay, I'm just putting it out there, like kind of like it's.
No,
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
trying to understand what the question is. The question is, where did the Kli of Chochmah come from? Well, you found out. You know that, right? It came from the Stoklos of the Anayim at the Achab.
Right.
So,
Right.
so the question is not where did the Kli come from. The Kli is there to begin with. The question is where does the Or come from? So the Or is coming from Kesser, but
It's the Or of Chachma, which has some kind of aspect of Chachma to it, that now has to get a Kli of Chachma, which, like, I mean, it's
no,
kind of like I don't know
that's
how to say this. Like
that's not
maybe in a
exactly
different.
right. Let's see. It's the Or of Chochmah that belongs inside of the Kli of Chochmah. They have a specific address that they match up.
Right.
So the Kli is already there. So basically, you're going into the Kli. You just lavish into that Kli.
It's going into the right address where it's for.
That's right.
But it existed already before
The Or
it had
is
an address.
okay. Well, wait a minute. There was an address for Chochmah to begin with from the Stoklos of the Leonayim.
Right.
So then what's happening is that there is, however, it's incomplete because it has no Or inside of it. Because the Or, there's something of it. So question is what does the Or do for the Kli? Maybe.
Right.
Okay, so that's what's going on. The Or goes into the
Okay.
Kli.
Right. Okay. The Nishar Ar HaChachma, the Kli Shalai. The Ar HaChachma stayed in its Kli. V'yatza Ar Habina Mikli HaChachma. And again, V'imai Kluim Kol Hashavat Tachtainos. It has underneath it this lower 7. Shehem Das Chesed Gvura Tiferes Netzachai, which is 1, and then Yisaid and Malchus. V'nislavshu B'kli Habina. And then they go into the Kli of Bina. V'achakach Yatzu Adas Me'ar Habina. Okay, so that's where we're holding here.
Right,
And like you said
right.
before, when the lights all went into the Kli of Kesser, although the Kli of Kesser has no problem holding all 10 lights, all 10 eras, it was still Nifgam. Then it went into the Kli of Chachma and Bina, and there was a Shvira in the Ach of
But
Chachma
that
and
hasn't
Bina.
happened yet. That hasn't happened.
Oh, we haven't said that yet?
No, we haven't had any Shviras here yet.
So I mean, well, maybe. So what happened when the something happened to the Kli of Chachma and the Kli of Bina when everything went inside?
Yeah, we know that, but what do you mean inside? What does that mean?
Meaning when all the 9 lights went into the Kli of Chachma.
It's like a cascading kind of effect, so that the bottom falls out, and then the top has nothing. It doesn't have a bottom. It doesn't have a base anymore. Maybe that's an answer, and so therefore part of it also falls, the backside.
And
And that's also. I'm sorry. Go ahead. It's another rule. The rule is that the backside of the upper goes into the inside of the lower.
Okay.
Imagine concentric circles, so that the one in the very middle is really almost non-existent. It's the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. So then, in order to get to the next place, so let's not go with let's go with just these. The light of Kesser is that when the light of Kesser, it's going to come in, or whatever it has all these particles in it. The light of Chochmah is going to have. Okay, I'm getting a little lost in my thinking now. What I was trying to answer. Go. Let's hear.
My question is I'm just very basic. The I guess issue that happened to the Kli of Chachma, the problem that took place in the Kli of Chachma because all the 9 lights went into it. That problem we don't call a shvira, right?
No, well, okay, so he says the backside of it's is going to fall. There's a nefila there.
So
It's
you
going
call
to
it a
fall to the
nefila.
bottom of Atzilus.
Got
Uh,
it. So like just the three different expressions of the issues that took place in the lights of Nikudim were pigam with regard to Keser, nefila with regard to Chachma and Bina, or specifically the nefila of the Acharaim, and then shvira with regard to the lower seven. Is that
yeah,
correct?
yeah. So this is what I was trying to say. Is what it is that they're all inside of each other. So if you
Okay.
have Chochmah and Bina are inside of the Zat, the rest of the seven going down there, and the rest of the seven all break, then they're attached to it. They're inside of them. They're all inside one side or the other. So if the outside breaks, then then the upside is exposed, and it
Right.
has, and it's okay. And so that's kind of what happens.
Okay. Bays. I'm reading the dark text on the bottom of Bays in the Tiv. V'hinei noida ki shiva, or Shisha, they put in the bracket there, Malachim Elu, in Bechinas Shisha K'tzavais Tezah. They're the six corners, sides. I don't know how you translate the word K'tzavais.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's good enough.
Okay, V'chol Echad Einei Gadol Mechaver. Neither one is greater than any other one. Ki Kol Echad who could say Echad, each one is one side or one angle of it.
Or one
Gadol,
sixth, or 1/6, like that. Like it's
okay,
apart.
1/6 of it. Kol echad who could say echad gadol kechaveri. It's as big as the other ones. U'lechein lo yakach b'shum kli me'elu hashiva or hashisha kelim hatachtonim lisbo b'seicha yeser michelek ha'ar hanegea l'chelka bavad. Each one of these, they're all equal sizes, and therefore none of them have the ability to hold anything more than one, and none of them could hold more than that. So the Tiv explains, Kasher nichnasu kol ha'asar eres l'tech kli ha'keser, v'atisha eres l'tech kli abba, v'ashwen eres l'tech kli ima, haya koach b'kleim lisbal es ha'eres shenichnasu b'hem. There was the strength in the power in these kalim to hold all the eres that went in. Ki kasher nichnas ara keser b'kli shalai, the imay ha'tesha ha'tachtonis, hayu b'telim ha'eres ha'tachtonim be'erech ere ha'gadol shal keser. And you mentioned this a few times before already, that the light of Keser is so great that it can be mevatel the lower spheres. So there was no I guess substance to the lower spheres because they were just obliterated or not recognizable, in relation to the great light of Keser. Again, these are also great lights, and the lower spheres were batal. Yorad or Hadas Likones Bekli Shaloi, when it comes to the Kli of Das and the light of Das going into its Kli, the Imaya Klulim Ha'eris Shatachta of Uz, at that moment, they were not nullified in the light of Das, because they're all equivalently located in the Zerampin, in the Zah. They're the six sides. The Godle ve'erkoi shall call kotzamehem, and the size and value of each one of the sides, hu ke'erech zulasai, is equal to the other side. I'm guessing this is like a cube that has six sides to it, that each side is none of the sides will be bigger or smaller or any different dimension than any of the other sides.
Okay, that's good.
Ulefikach kasher nichasu ha'eres al teich kol echad me'elu hashisha k'tzavais, when the lights went into each of these six sides, lahiru akli yachal lispal gadol ha'er shenichnas bai, the Kli was not able to hold the great light that that all the extra light that went into it. Each Kli was only able to hold what fits at its address, and that nothing else. But it cannot hold the additional lights that came together with its light. And this caused that the Kli broke of each of the seven lower spheres. They broke, the Kalim broke. And the Kalim fell into what we call the Elam HaBriya. Kirak Bisman Atikun Sha'az Yisuknu Ha'elamais, only at the time of the Tikun, when all the worlds will be fixed. Yikari Zeh Hamakim Bria, then we'll be able to call this place Bria. I'm not sure what that means.
Well, what it means is that Bria has to be created. It's what we say. It's relative. It's relative to the breaking of these kalim. They fall out of Itzilus, which it means the closest to the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. They fall out of that level. So now,
Right.
okay, they're in a different level. Go ahead.
Got it. Each shvira happened in its own kli. The light left. I guess once the kli is broken, the light doesn't stay behind. The kli is meant to hold the light, but if the kli is not functioning, then it doesn't hold the light.
But it also says that it's solid. It goes up.
Right, and it goes up where, back into Keser?
It goes. No, that's a good question, but it goes. Yeah, actually, he's going to tell us later on where it goes, but it's going to maintain. It's going to stay in its silus. The ore stays in its silus, but the kli breaks and falls out of the silus, and then later on, he said, "Well, that's going to be the creation of Bria."
Got it. Now, just something I'm thinking about is that I'm not sure if he's going to talk about this. You'll tell me, but I have this kind of question that when the lights all enter into the kli of, let's say, Chesed, so the seven Uris go into the kli of Chesed, or let's say the kli of Das. So, is it correct to say that which breaks as a result of the 7 lights in the kli of Das would be a much stronger destruction than the, let's say, 2 lights that enter into the kli of Yesod, because kind of like there's not as much, meaning maybe they will break because they only fit 1, but like is it binary in
Well, you say that all 6 flow into Das like that, and it breaks Das.
In terms of Das, everything is coming into Das, so you have 6 in Das, and Das is only meant to hold 1. That's a very big type of break.
Yeah, that's assuming that all of the kalim are strong, with the same strength. So what could break?
So that's we're assuming that they're all the same strength, and then once it's
no, they're not. They're not all the same strength. As you get further down the line in the Zat, you're getting to a place where the the histoklos of the Anayim, at whatever they're looking at, which is up above them, they're not by the Achap anymore. They're down below. It's going to get weaker and weaker. They're going to get further and further away from the source of the light, which is the Achap.
So therefore, all the kalim have
weaknesses.
They all break equally?
Not equally. It's just that it doesn't take that much to break the ones on the bottom.
Got it.
That was the question. Okay.
You're saying even though there are less lights
going into it, that was your question, right? Because the lights are equal, but the kalim aren't.
Right. Okay. Gimel. The kasher yatsu kulam bedas, when all the lights went into das, yachal akli shaloi lispol osam v'nishbar v'yorad lamata commission is shenivar be'ez Hashem. It broke and it went down, like we're about to explain. Kasher yatsu. I'm reading the light text in Gimel. Kasher yatsu zayin hamalachim b'seich kli mitoich kli habina, when they left from the kli habina, v'nichnasu kulam al toich kli hadas, and they all went into the vessel of das. Unlike in the previous 3, Keser, Chacham, and Bina, here there was no bittul of the Aris in the lights of Das. And all the lights that went into the Kli of Das were all shining in a revealed way. The Kli of Das broke. There was too much light, couldn't fit inside that bowl, inside that Kli, and it just broke. The Kli of Das falls into Bria. It went up above. This is right. We discussed that each of the kings are represented in one. So Bela is the Das. There was an aspect of death. It fell to a place where, I guess, as it goes down, we'll get into the world of Bria.
Right.
Okay, Daled. So although the light of Das, it seems like, went up, it was Nisala, the rest of the lights kept moving, I guess, along the path, and they went into the Kli of Chesed. The Gamhu lo yachol l'sevlam, the Nishbar v'yarad. It broke, it fell, same process. The Kvar Nishbar, ki shiva ereis heim, there are 7 lights. Elo shenetzach v'hoid nachshavim la'echad. We said that the Netzach and Hoid are considered one. Kitrei Pagi Gufa have, because they're 2 halves of the same body.
Yeah.
Okay, Lacher Mikain, light text of Daled. Lacher Mikain Yotzu Ora Chesed Mikli Das, light of Chesed went into the vessel of Das. The Imai Klulim Oid Chamesh Iris, and it had together with it 5 other lights. V'nichnasu, and I guess these 5 lights, this Kli of Chesed was not their address. They went into the Kli of Chesed. Again, it was not able to hold the 6 lights within it. It broke. It fell to the place where the Olam Abriya again is going to be in the future. And the light went up above. So now the Rav is coming back to explain why we should not ask, being that there are only 7 kings, why are we counting the breaking of Das as one of the kings that broke? So to answer that, he writes, Hanetzach and Hoid are really one. They're opposite the 2 feet. Can't have only 1 foot, so it needs to be as a pair. Therefore, we can have 7 kings and not have more than 7 or less than 7. Okay. Hey. Next, I guess, place along the line. Yardu hachamisha orais b'kli agura. The 5 lights go into the Kli of Gura. V'yarad gam keni mayim harashimu dechesed. Okay, now he starts talking about new things.
You're right.
There was a Rishimu of Chesed, so the glow, the imprint of what the lights of Chesed left behind, followed the rest of the Aris. Pirush, Kinayda Shabachal Chamesh Spheres Mechesed Va'ad Hoid, Kol Echad Mehem Nesein Chad Rishimu Delay B'Yeside. From the Chesed to the Hoid, each of those spheres give an imprint or a little glow into the Hoid. Kilasibazu Nikra Yisaid. That's why it's called Yisaid Hayisaid Kol.
Yeah.
This is why the Yisaid is called Kol. Kol means everything. I guess that means because it maintains, or it has within it, a little bit of the 5 spheres above it.
Right.
The Kol Kulo Chamesh spheres, because it has the other 5 spheres in it as well. Valkain Kol Echad Meir Chad Rishimu El Hayisaid V'Lo Yachol Lisbol V'Nishbar. And the Yisaid, each one sends a Rishimu into the Yisaid, and the Yisaid can't handle it, and it also broke. Yardu ha'arba orais. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm a little mixed up on this because it sounds like my answer doesn't work so great. This is the kol kulchel chamesh severos v'hol kol echad morid chad rishimo al yesod. So where do we get the yesod? We were over in Chesed a minute ago. V'lo yachol is bol v'nishbar. Okay.
I'm guessing that the words v'lo yachol lisbol v'nishbar is really going back on the lights in Gura.
Maybe. Let's see. He said yesod. I don't
know.
Okay, so let's find out. We'll find out.
Okay. So then you have 4 lights and 2 glows. The Chesed Gura b'Kliyat Teferes. So again, 5 lights. The 5 lights are the lights of Teferes, Netzach Hoid, which is 1, Yisaid, Teferes, Netzach Hoid, Yisaid, and Malchus. What's the 5th one?
Wait a minute. How'd you go this? Let's see. 4. Okay, 4.
Yeah, no, sorry. I made a mistake.
Okay.
4 Aris and 2 Rishimin. The 2 Rishimin are Chesed and Gura, and the 4 lights are Teferes is 1, Netzach Hoid is 2, Yisaid, and Malchus. is the next two. Okay, Vinishbar Gamhu V'Yarad. So after all these lights, again, 4 areas, 2 Rishimin go into the Kli of Teferes. It can't hold them, it breaks, and it also falls to the world of Bria. V'chein al deras dash yardu shnei areis v'chamisha Rishimin, 2 lights and 5 glows into the Kli of Yisai. Ve'eli yachlo soiglon Vinishbar V'Yarad. It can neither hold them, and then it also broke. Okay, now the Tiv explains. Light text in letter Hey. After the Kli of Chesed broke and its light went above, Yardu Sha'ar HaChamisha Eres Shemigvura Ba'ad Malchus Al Tech Kli HaGvura. V'imahem, and with them, Yarad Gamkein Rishimu Shalar HaChesed. A glow or a remnant of Chesed went with them. Now he puts it in parentheses here, Va'adas Lahiniach Achar Rishima. Das does not have a Rishimu. Okay. It's something called the 5 chasadim, which are a little bit of like a glow or a remnant of these 5 spheres. The goal of these glows, of these remnants, is to light up the Yisaid. It's considered the generalization or the it's like the color of all the lights. It's also called the kol, because it has like a sampling of everything above it. The time another reason why Yisaid is called kol is kol svira kalula. Each sphere has in it has its own array of 10 spheres, like we discussed. By Yisaid Makabel Rishimu Mechamesh Asferes Shemei Alav Nimtzem Kain Shebasech Kli Yisaid Meirim Chamishim Areis Chamishim Spheres Shenechlales Bechamesh Asferes Alyanes Hameirim Besechai. It has 50 spheres in it, 10 for each of the spheres above it. L'chein HaYisaid Nikra Kol Fiu Begematria Chamishim. So kol is the gematria 50, which is a hint at the 50 spheres that are contained within kol that are emanating from the rishimus of the 5 spheres above it. It's fascinating. Meaning machmas ribui ha'ar, because of the great light, nishbar gam kli hagura. The kli of gura also broke. Va'ar hagura. Okay, so he ties it back to what kind of a way I was saying it, at least as of now. That the shvira is not the shvira in Yisaid yet. This is the shvira in Gura. Nishbar gam kli Gura v'ara Gura olamala. B'shar arba asiris shem Teferes netzachoid Yisaid and Malchus yordu l'tzef kli Teferes. The imam nichnasu shnei rishimin v'chesed. With them was the 2 lights of Chesed u'Gura. V'az machmas ribu ha'ar again nishbar kli Teferes. V'lacham kein yatzu shleisha aris shem netzachoid v'hoid Yisaid u'Malchus. The imam shleisha rishimu the Chesed Gura v'Teferes, and again v'nichnas l'toich kli hanetzach v'haid v'nishbar, and it broke. V'achach yatzu shnei areis shem Yisaid u'Malchus. Then the 2 lights of Yisaid and Malchus went in. The imam arba rishimin the Chesed Gura Teferes netzach haid and netzach haid. I'm sorry, netzach and haid. Here he's counting them as separate in terms of the rishimu. V'nichnas l'toich kli haYisaid v'nishbar afu v'yesh garsim shenichnasu hey rishimin el kli haYisaid. Some say that it wasn't 4 Rishimin, but it was 5 Rishimin.
Yeah. So, okay, right, good.
Okay. What time is it?
Right now it's, let's see.
9:30?
9:30, yeah.
The next one looks like a long one. Is it okay if we stop here?
Oh, sure it is. Okay, no problem. You did really great today. Thank you so much.
Okay, wow, thank you so much. This was really, this was like a very juicy one.
Okay, it's going to get juicier. Okay, all the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.